Hey, this is Will Middleton from WPCourseGuide.com, and in this video we're going to talk about a feature in LearnDash that's really cool called LearnDash Lesson Timer. I'm going to remove my camera there, so I'm going to plug in to add new. I need to first upload my LearnDash plugin, install that, then activate. And so the lesson timer feature allows us to require users to complete a certain number of times spent on the lesson before they can actually mark that lesson as being completed. Let me skip for now. Let's go here. So if I'm going to add my first course, this is the lesson timer sample course. Publish this. And then if I jump into my builder, let's quickly add a section heading. Sample. I'll just give my section heading there and a lesson title, add lesson, update the page, edit the lesson, and then we'll dive into the settings. And so here is our forced lesson timer. And the nice thing about this is that we can set a required amount of time that students will need to complete the lesson. So if I do 1 hour, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, oops, turned it off, 1 hour, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, and I update this, I won't be able to see this here on my end, but let me go ahead and drop a video, a sample video into my lesson area. We'll just put a sample video so we have something to look at, and I'll enroll a student so we can actually see this feature in action. So what we're going to do is go to the backend of WordPress, and I do need to create a sample user. So I'm going to go to users, add new, test@test.com. And so now that our user is created, we need to enroll them in the course, but I'll also need to switch to their user account. And I'm going to use a plugin called User Switching to do that. I love this user switching plugin. It's a free plugin on the WordPress repository that allows you to switch between users on your website. So if a student says they're seeing something that looks messed up or they're not seeing the right thing, you can actually switch to their user account and see what they're seeing. But before we switch to the user, let's quickly enroll them in the course. So we have our lesson sample timer course in the settings for our course all the way at the bottom. We're going to enroll test user, update. Now if I go back to courses, back to users, and I switch to my test user who's now enrolled in the course, and I reload my lesson page, I see my lesson timer is now going to start counting down, and I'm unable to click the Smart Complete button until that timer finishes. And so that really is nice for continuing education samples where we want to require students to watch a certain amount of time on the lesson. And unfortunately, there's not a way to tell whether the student gets up from their computer and walks away, but it does require that they did spend a certain amount of time on the lesson before moving to the next one. And you could always break it up if you do have a course where you're trying to require students to watch a certain number of hours of material. You could also add quizzes. You could add multiple lessons, maybe like a 15-minute video lesson here. You could do a PDF lesson and kind of break it up so they have to click Mark Complete, stay on the lesson for 10 minutes, and then click Mark Complete, move to the next lesson, be there for 10 minutes. And so it makes it a little bit harder for them to get up away from the computer and then come back. So sometimes we have these requirements with continuing education boards that require watching a certain number of hours of content, and oftentimes having the lesson timer and breaking your lessons up into different resources is a perfect way to do that. But let me know if you have any questions or comments in this video below, and I'll see you in the next video.